Today our episode is focused on finding your rhythm, and you basically studied everything that has to do with psychology and know a lot about that. So while girls are at home, what is the main way that they can find their rhythm, and how you have been finding your rhythm at home too?
Tapping into their own bodies, their own brains, and to really reflect on things that are important to them, things that bring them joy, things that bring them peace, and things that make them feel fulfilled.
What's good, girl gang? I'm Allery.
I'm Ella.
I'm Isabel, and welcome back to G-Team TV.
We're so happy to be back for today's episode, and we have our robes on because today is all about finding your rhythm with self-care.
Today we'll focus on how you can find the best ways to keep yourself happy and healthy, especially now that we're back at school. Whether you're online or back in person, we need to find that time to relax and take care of ourselves. For that reason, Allery, Ella, and I were making lip scrubs during this episode.
Yay! We're also going to learn about getting outdoors, letting go of stress, and finding a good routine with psychologist Cindy Caras, so make sure to keep on watching.
For today's Q&A, our question is, what is your favorite thing to do to relax? So I'll go first. My favorite thing to do is to get into a dark room with a flashlight and a book and read. And I don't know why, but it's for some reason a lot more relaxing to read in the dark. I can't explain it, but I highly recommend that you try it.
Well, I usually watch a movie or an episode of the series I'm watching. It helps me distract my mind for a little while.
Who doesn't love a good movie? Every morning, I like to set aside time and meditate. It helps clear my mind and make me feel more positive throughout the day.
Comment down below what your favorite thing to do to relax is. And if you have any questions for us, also leave them in the comment section because we might feature you in one of our future episodes of G-Team TV.
On this show, we like to do a section called Catching Up with Girl Scouts, where we tell you all about our favorite Girl Scout projects happening around the country that you might not have heard about yet. So starting off, Girl Scout Troop 45261 of Western Washington teamed up with their mayor to help families by growing produce and coordinating grocery needs with their local food bank to help their community out during this pandemic.
That's amazing! And Girl Scouts in Rochester created arts and letters for a local nursing home. They spread cheer and they made those people smile.
I love that so much. A junior troop in Illinois made a butterfly garden to help conserve the monarch populations in their area. And so, obviously, Girl Scouts are very good at looking at their communities and figuring out what their communities need, but it's also important to look at ourselves and see what we need and to relax every once in a while. And one of the best ways to relax is to get outdoors. So, for our first segment of the day, welcome Mary Laura with the Urban Outdoors.
Hey y'all, and welcome to the Great Outdoors. I'm Mary Laura, and I'm so excited to talk to you today about the urban outdoors. When someone says get outdoors, what do you picture? Many people picture a secluded forest or a mountain lake, but most of us live in very suburban or urban areas. So how do we enjoy the outdoors? The good news, the outdoors is everywhere, and it is close to us all. The most underrated space in the world is the urban outdoors. Spending time outdoors is beneficial to your mental, physical, and emotional health. It provides a space where you can exercise, relax, or just be removed from the fast-paced world. Girl Scouts of Greater New York is the only purely urban council. You'll hear from 3 of their members today.
Hi, I'm Brianna from the Girl Scouts of Greater New York, and I was working on the outdoor art badge, and I had a light bulb idea. I could bring all my art outside with just a snack table and a folding chair.
Like Brianna says, it is easy to take what you're doing outside. When I say urban outdoors, I am talking about green and gray spaces. Green spaces are what people typically think when they hear get outdoors, like city parks, botanical gardens, and walking and biking paths. Gray spaces are unconventional outdoor spaces used for recreation, such as building rooftops, backyards, balconies, and window boxes. Even walking down your sidewalk counts. All outdoor activities need to follow Leave No Trace principles for responsible recreation. When we leave no trace, we are protecting the outdoors now and in the future. For urban recreation, choose the right path. Carefully follow the marked paths. Trash your trash. Consider taking a bag to pick up trash. Leave what you find. Leave only footprints and take only memories. Respect wildlife. Don't feed wildlife. Keep your distance and leash your pet. Be kind to other visitors. The outdoors is for everyone. So, how do you get outside each day? Let's hear from 2 more Sister Scouts.
Hi, my name is Sophia of Girl Scouts of Greater New York. And ways that I can get outside in my city is visiting places like the botanical gardens, zoos, and parks.
I get outside daily and enjoy fresh air and exercise by helping my neighbor walk her 2 small dogs.
No matter where you live, don't worry. It's easy to find outdoor spaces. You can always walk, bike, birdwatch, or even sit by an open window. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the urban outdoors. Until the next adventure.
Love that. Thank you so much, Mary Laura and her 3 girls from Girl Scouts of Greater New York. I mean, I personally love the outdoors. My troop is very high adventure, so we explore those green spaces and go camping all the time. And even in our regular troop meetings, we start outside in those gray areas. So no matter where you are, like, go outside. Even like walking your dog, your dog loves it, but like it's also good for you to get that fresh air once in a while.
Thank you so much, Mary Laura, for that amazing segment. And thank you, girls, for sharing how you guys are able to get outside in New York as well. Next up, we have an interview with Dr. Sydney Karas. Dr. Karas has a PhD in human development and family science. She is the founder of LEAP, which is a bilingual early childhood consultancy, and is a trusted consultant for Girl Scouts Raising Awesome Girls blog. Serena is interviewing Dr. Karas, so take it away, Serena.
Hey Girl Scouts, welcome back to our 3rd episode of G Team TV. Today I'm here with Dr. Cindy Karas, where we're going to learn more about her career and how you can find your rhythm at home. Hi Cindy, how are you today?
Hi, Serena. Hi, Girl Scouts. It's an honor and a privilege to be speaking with y'all today. I'm doing really well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here and agreeing to be on this interview with us. We are so excited, and I'm looking forward to just talking to you and learning more about what you do. So let's start off. Tell me a little bit more about yourself and your career.
So I own my own early childhood consulting business in Austin, Texas. It is focused mainly on providing bilingual trainings for early childhood educators and champions in the Austin metro area, primarily in Spanish, which is my native language. And this idea for opening up this consulting firm really was born out of this need that I saw in our community to provide trainings for early childhood educators in Spanish, as a lot of the trainings that are provided are really primarily in English. And so I wanted to use my knowledge and my background in psychology and human development to be able to give them research-based knowledge and tools to help them be successful educators in the classroom and in their early childhood centers.
That is so cool that you started like that program and everything with bilingual development. I also speak Spanish too. It's really cool how the bilingual brain works, like how you're able to like switch so easily. Like I've noticed that now. It's really, really cool, and everything you're doing with that's amazing. So today our episode is focused on finding your rhythm, and you basically studied everything that has to do with psychology and know a lot about that. So while girls are at home, what is the main way that they can find their rhythm, and how you have been finding your rhythm at home too?
Finding our rhythm is really critical to our mental health and our social-emotional well-being. So I think it's really important to talk about how does one find a rhythm. So I really think for girls, it's about tapping into their own bodies, their own brains, and to really reflect on things that are important to them, things that bring them joy, things that bring them peace, and things that make them feel fulfilled. And so a lot about this discovery of what is it that makes me happy? What is it that I want to do? What is it that makes me feel like I can have a successful and productive day takes a lot of reflection and a lot of thinking about what works and what doesn't. And so I think a lot about routines. For example, routines can be really beneficial because they can help reduce anxiety and they can allow for a sense of predictability in one's day. And I think that's really important, especially during a time where we're all adapting to a sort of virtual world and a new world where we are physically having to be distant from our social support network and our social support groups. So I think really just tapping into ourselves. So girls can really think about that which makes them feel like they can have a really productive day. And I talked a little bit about routine. So I think about 3 really important ingredients to creating and establishing new routines. The first being keeping it simple, the second being persistent, and the third being open to flexibility. And the idea of keeping it simple really is just that, thinking about what are the components in a girl's day that are required. So for a lot of girls, they're just starting school again, or they're about to go back to school. And so really thinking about, okay, what is required in my day? And then adding the components that they want to, or that they can, that will set them up for success for their day. And that can start with something as simple as, I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, and maybe I do a 5-minute walk around the block, or I journal, or I meditate. It can be something really simple, but really trying to avoid adding too many layers to your routine, because that can be quite overwhelming and quite daunting. Persistence, it takes an average of 66 days for new habits to form and for our brain to really start thinking of new behaviors as something as second nature. And that's based off of research that's been done. And that can seem like quite a long time, 66 days, but the importance here is just being persistent. So once girls set up a routine that seems like it will be feasible and doable and will work well for their everyday routine, just being persistent and trying to keep at it for a few weeks and trying not to get disillusioned if something isn't working out after a few days, because it takes a while for new habits to form. And the last, the being flexible, it's really just about, again, doing a lot of self-reflection and asking yourself, is this something that's really working in my routine? Is this part of my rhythm? Is this something that I'm interested in? And trying to evaluate different components of the routine or the rhythm and assess whether they are working well, or if they need to change, or adding something that maybe isn't part of the rhythm or the routine, and seeing if that's something that can be sustainable.
Yeah, those are really good pointers. Thank you so much for that information. I know, like, for me personally, when all this started, it was really hard for me to like keep the routine that for the new world, like, because before, when I was in school, I had a very like strict routine, starting from like 6 in the morning, coming home at 6 at night, and then going from something that it's like, okay, you're home all day, you had to develop like a new routine. And those are really great pointers. And I realize now, like, the importance of routine and like being productive, especially like with online school, can be really hard to like stay focused. So going back to your career and psychology, I know there are a lot of girls at home that might be interested in pursuing the field as well. So what are some pointers that you would give for girls that are interested in pursuing psychology? I know it's a pretty broad career field. So what are some pointers you could give them?
Really starting out and doing some basic research on local colleges or universities in the area to look at their Department of Psychology, look at the different professors that are listed in the department, and just trying to read more about what their interests are trying to see if local colleges or universities offer research labs, are a really great way for girls to start to learn more about what types of research is being conducted, what types of subjects, and by subjects I mean topics, are professors and graduate students learning more about. So it's a really great way to just start doing some basic field research on getting into, per se, the field of psychology, or learning more about if that's something they want to pursue going into college. And I also want to say, once they are in college, I was a professor at UT Austin, and I loved encouraging my undergraduate students to take courses outside of their core program, and to take electives in fields that they may not be that interested in, or they're just a tad bit curious about, because it can really open up their world to something different.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's really great advice, in the sense that what you said too about like keeping your options open and like taking classes that you wouldn't really like interest you, but just like really going for it. I know, because even like outside of psychology, I know like there's students at my school, girls, that they don't really know what they want to do yet. So like keeping the options open and like finding your passions is something that is really important to, that could eventually be like your path for the rest of your life, and you could always change it up. That's like what I love about it, and like different courses in college, and like I think it's great. So thank you so much for that. So Cindy, there are a lot of pressures going on right now, how the world has changed, and girls at home, they're dealing maybe from going from middle school to high school to college. What is one thing that you think they should keep at the top of their mind as they go to their day-to-day lives?
Being kind to themselves. Like you said, there's a lot of pressure, and at times there is a pressure to have this sort of Instagram perfect life, and that's not reality for a good majority of girls. And so just being forgiving and kind to yourself, and just trying to really reflect on the things that make you happy, and to try and take away as many layers of pressure from outside social groups or social networks, and just trying to really reflect on, what do I want, what makes me feel fulfilled, what makes me feel satisfied, and what do I need to do to take care of myself. And really just starting there, and keeping that at the forefront of their mind, is that their mental health and their social emotional health is the most important thing. And so just trying to be kind to themselves, and to be realistic of what is important and what should be part of their lives can really help with transition, either from middle school to high school or from high school to college. But really the key is just thinking of oneself and just taking care of oneself before taking care of others.
Yes, for sure. Be kind to yourself, love yourself, be yourself. I love it. So Cindy, wrapping up, do you have any last words that you'd like to share with the girls at home?
Muchas gracias a todos, amigas. Cuídense mucho. It's really important to take care of yourself. Fue un placer, Serena. Gracias por tenerme. I will talk to you all soon.
Gracias, Cindy. Fue un placer igualmente. Thank you so much. We learned so much. And make sure to keep watching the episode.
Dr. Caras and Serena, for that incredible interview. I completely agree so much about the importance of having a strong routine. This is my first year in online classes, and my routine looks so different than it ever has for school before, but coming up with a really consistent one has helped me just kind of lower my stress during the school year.
And it's so interesting to hear about how a person found their way into their career. And now we're going with Mary, where she's gonna show us some tips on how to de-stress in these challenging times.
It's Mary with another segment of State of Mind. Today we are talking about ways to avoid stress and decompress during stressful times. This school year is going to be different for everyone, but that doesn't mean it has to be stressful. So let's talk about some of the best ways to avoid school stress this year. We all know that a major cause of stress is procrastination. So the best way to avoid the stress of rushing to finish an assignment right before the due date is to plan ahead on when you will do that assignment. My advice is to either get a planner or a calendar set up and plan ahead what day you will do each assignment. I've been doing virtual learning since 3rd grade, and I find the best way to avoid school stress is with Zoom lessons is to avoid screens between classes. I know it's tempting to go on your phone between periods, but try to give your eyes a break. You can do this by going outside for a few minutes, making yourself something to eat, or just by closing your eyes in between periods. This break will help you avoid headaches and keep your stress levels down. Now, on to non-school related stress. The best thing to do is always remove yourself from what is stressing you out, even if it's just for a little while. Do anything from going for a walk, talking to a friend that can make you laugh, or just taking a deep breath. You can also try this breathing exercise. Imagine drawing a box with your breathing. Stay with me. In for 5 seconds, hold for 5, blow out for 5, and then hold for 5. This will help you bring down your heart rate, improve your mood, and lower your level of stress. You can do it as many times as you want until you feel better. Finally, if you're feeling really stressed out, talk to a trusted adult, a parent, teacher, or your Girl Scout troop leader. No matter what you do, remember that managing your mental health is not about never having any problems. It's about being aware of how things affect you and using the tools and people available to keep you in a healthy state of mind.
Thank you so much, Mary, for sharing all those amazing tips on how to de-stress. I think it's really important to remember to take a deep breath and make time for yourself in these unprecedented times. If you're going back to school or going online, it's important to remember to chill and just breathe.
I completely agree. And just as a reminder, we started our episode today with an amazing outdoor section with Mary Laura, and then we had an incredible interview with Serena and Dr. Karas, and then we finish it up with Mary's mental health segment. Girls, if you have anything that you really resonated with today, or if you have any other tips for how we can de-stress and relax, please leave them in the comments below.
Cadets, if you found this episode interesting, make sure to check out the Science of Happiness badge, which will show you all the ways in which you can boost your own happiness.
And seniors, you can find out how to take care of your health from physical to mental to emotional by checking out Women's Health Badge.
And ambassadors, we didn't forget about you. There's a ton of cool outdoors badges you can do, but my favorite is the Ultimate Recreation Badge. It's all about just having the coolest time outdoors.
You can find all these badges and more on girlscouts.org.
So today's positive affirmation is the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another, and it's by William James. And I chose this quote for a few reasons. So William James is the father of psychology, which is really cool because we had a psychologist as our guest today. And I just think that this quote is so true. You have to actively choose to be happy, and you have to choose to think about other things when you're stressed. And so I just think it's really great advice.
And we wanted to thank everyone. Thank you to our guest, Dr. Kerr, for that incredible interview with Serena. Thank you to our girls from Girl Scouts of Greater New York for the amazing outdoor segment. Thank you, Mary Laura, for how to keep a good state of mind. And thank you to our audience for watching with us.
If you liked this episode, please tune in next week to see what is happening. You can find a new episode on Girl Scouts IGTV every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week's episode is all about innovation for good, how we can use our brains and talents to make the world a better place. If you missed an episode of G-Team TV and want to catch up, check out the Girl Scouts YouTube channel.
And don't forget, you can also connect live with girls from around the country to talk about the show. There's a few different days and times that these weekly hangouts are going to happen, so look for a link in the show description below for more information.
Thank you so much, girls, for watching. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
On this show, we like to do a section. Okay, let's redo that. Okay. On this show, we do a section called Catching Up with Girl Scouts, where we tell you.
I'm so sorry. I spelled it again. I don't know how I did that. I swear.
On this show, we'd like to do a section called Catching.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Can I have like a solid minute just to clean myself up a little bit?
I've never actually done a lip scrub before, so I'm just like really excited.
Well,
Wait,
I
are you ready?
used to buy them, but like honestly, now that I figured out that you can make one on your own, save money. So I did just coconut and sugar.
I think mine's done. It smells so good, but I'm covered in honey, so I don't know if it was worth it.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god, I got it on my teeth.
My lips are so smooth.
Your lips look really red. And the best part is that there's leftovers for a snack.